Well, hello everyone. This is going to be a pretty short video for you, but I thought some of you guys might get a kick out of this, or might get a little information that can help you out along the way. So I had to go to John Deere this morning. I've got that little 3520 you guys have seen featured in my videos, and while I was at my sister's house building a new driveway, it started overheating and losing antifreeze really badly. So long story short, I got back here, checked it out. What had happened, and I'll show you this a little bit later, is there's a big hole, and I don't know how it happened, but there's a big hole right around the radiator neck on the inside, which is causing it's causing the radiator cap to leak. I'll show you that, and I'll show you how I tried to fix it. A little hillbilly, but I tried to get it just going until I could get a new one. So I went to John Deere this morning and I picked up a box. Anytime it's a box that size at John Deere, it's going to cost you. So this new radiator from John Deere was about 360 bucks. Yeah, but hopefully it's going to last for a long time. So this one's been in the tractor since 2006. So I'm thinking if I get that much longevity out of it, I'm pretty happy. So anyway, I want to go through this process with you. Okay, so I'm here in the shop, and I want to record this. Now, like I said, it's probably going to be a short video, but I thought that some of you guys might get a little, maybe education if you need it, a little entertainment at all on this thing. So what I've got here is this tractor started leaking very badly. Right here, when I stopped and opened the hood up, this whole area was covered in antifreeze. And I don't know, well, let me get a flashlight. Okay, so I'm going to show you why this thing was leaking. So you see that, I'm gonna put the screw, it's hard to do all this. Okay, right where I've got the screwdriver pointing there, if you can see that, there was a big hole right there, and it went down into that area right there, all the way down in here, and then there's like a hole here, but it wasn't all the way through. It wasn't all the way through the radiator, but what it was doing is it was causing it to bypass the seal on the radiator cap. So it was spewing out antifreeze everywhere. So I came back, and honestly, as you can see, that's even worse looking now. But that right there, I tried to put a little JB weld to build it up, but actually it didn't work at all. And I only did that because I knew I needed a new radiator, but I was just trying to buy myself a little bit of time because I did need to use the tractor unloading stuff around the shop. So I just did that temporary. Hillbilly, I know, but hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So I've got my new radiator, and I'm going to show you guys how to take the old radiator out. Okay, so the old radiator coming out is a pretty simple task. I'm going to show you the access points that we need to get to, and now I'm not going to bore you with taking all the bolts and screws out. I'll probably put that on a time lapse for you, because a lot of you guys are going to be watching my channel, I think, or have done something like this before. But anyway, I'm still going to go over the points here and show you. So I've already drained the antifreeze out, and it's in this paint roller tray down here. So first we're going to take this hose clamp loose here, take that hose off. We got a bolt down here on the bottom, a bolt right there behind this brace. Now that brace does not have to come off, is my understanding. We got this overflow line here that comes off. Now, something you purist John Deere fans might see is this tractor has an aftermarket tank on it. At some point in time, someone's put an aftermarket tank. I'm assuming after the grill was damaged and a big stick came through here and broke the original tank that sits right here. So someone, instead of ordering from John Deere, put an aftermarket tank, which is fine. It's just not factory, you know, so not a big deal to me. But anyway, so we've got another bolt right here. I'm sorry about the light on the camera there, but right here's another bolt and another bolt right there. So that's the 4 bolts you take out, plus your last radiator hose there goes into the water pump. So I'm just gonna step back, take all this stuff apart, and pull the radiator out and show you the change out here. So I've got 3 of the 4 bolts out, and honestly I've already loosened this one, so I'm going to show you this one coming out right here. there. And then we will loosen this hose clamp right here. Slide it back and then take your screwdriver and push this hose off. There's a little barb on the end of a radiator that keeps it from sliding off, and there it is. So there we go. So now we should have the radiator ready to set out there. So that'll be our next step. Okay, so I think we're ready to set our radiator out. So what we just got to do is grab hold of it here. Okay, so it may not be as easy after all. Let's try it one more time. Okay, there we go. So our bottom neck right here was catching on the shroud, which you got to expect that. So what I'm going to do now is, you can see it's dirty down there low where you can't get to it to clean it very well. I'm going to take this protective screen off. I'm going to clean it really well before I put it all back together. Okay, so I've got the two radiators sitting here side by side, and they are identical. And something I want to show you, it kind of confused me at the first onset of it, but see these like studs here, and then they're threaded right here. Now this one has them too, so I'm going to show you about those. So those go right here on each side. See that? That's a rubber isolator, and that keeps the radiator in place. Now I'm going to guess that possibly those were supposed to have a bolt in the bottom of them like this with a big washer on it to keep it all in place. But honestly, that would have to raise up over an inch, and you saw that I had a little trouble getting that out of there, getting it out of the frame. That would have to raise up over an inch. Plus you would have to lose all 4 of your attachment points here in order for that to happen. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they probably may have not been in there, so I'm not going to put them back unless I start seeing problems with it, maybe jostling around or something like that. So that's my take on that. I'll say, okay, so it's time to reverse the process. So I blew this out with air hose. It still looks nasty, but it's not bad. This is your protective screen that keeps any like seeds and stuff out when you're working in the field, and you get a lot of dust and grass seeds, things like that in there. So anyway, what we're going to do very carefully, put this back in here. Okay, so I think we have it back basically in position. Yep, we got our stud that I was talking about down through that rubber grommet or gusset. This side's lined up. Now we should be able to take our bolts and start putting everything back together. So let me just get this first one started here. Okay, so got that started. I'm gonna go ahead and put my hoses back on. Go ahead and put my hoses back on here. Put my 4 bolts in, reattach. There's a piece of rubber trim that goes here. I'll put that back on, the overflow pipe, and then I'll just fill it up with antifreeze. And speaking of antifreeze, John Deere puts this convenient little decal right here inside the hood, if you can see that. It tells service, daily service required, engine oil, capacities, cooling, transmission, all that stuff. Really, no, we don't have to keep up the book. It's right here under the hood, and we also got kind of the same thing over here, service intervals. So it's a pretty smart little idea there. But anyway, we're gonna get this thing put back together. I won't bore you with the details. Putting bolts back in and hoses back on. It's just reverse of what we did before. So here we go. Okay, so I'm getting ready to fill up the tractor. So I've got a clean funnel, and it says it holds 5.5 quarts of 50/50 diluted coolant. So we know it'll hold this whole thing, but we're gonna go kind of slow putting it in.